But even the governor would have had a hard time avoiding the latest outrage in Saipan. More than 1,000 workers made sick by suspected food poisoning at one of the biggest and supposedly best-run factories on the island, owned by the politically prominent Willie Tan. A lawyer for Tan said the factory is well-run and no sweatshop, and suggested to Saipan TV station KMCV that it might be sabotage somehow connected to the lawsuit.
Concern we have that because this lawsuit and everything else has been going on, that there could be some sabotage of food.
But federal officials say Tan's factory has a history of problems, including the contamination of water used for drinking and cooking. And Tan's factory is named in the billion-dollar lawsuit because of the work it does for Tommy Hilfiger and other well-known American retailers.
The occasions of people becoming ill, workers fainting, food poisoning, drinking water contamination, well documented. These are sweatshops, plain and simple.
Congress could fix this that quickly. All we have to say is that the immigration laws and the labor laws of the United States of America apply to Saipan.
And yet Congressman Miller says his efforts to do that have been blocked by one of the most powerful people in Congress.
The majority whip of the House of Representatives, Tom DeLay.
The number 3 Republican in the House, Tom DeLay.
Thank you.
DeLay and members of his staff took a Christmas holiday trip to Saipan in 1997, toured select garment factories and barracks, and then praised the island.
And you represent everything that is good about what we're trying to do in America.
In fact, when Steve Galster of Global Survival Network went undercover, posing as a garment executive, he heard all about Congressman DeLay from the Mr. Big of Saipan garment manufacturers, this man, Willie Tan. Tan, who owns the factory where the workers became ill, claims he is close to DeLay and boasted of the assurances he said the congressman had given him that the proposed laws on Saipan would be killed.
Because Tom DeLay will never let it go.
You're sure?
Sure. You know what Tom told me? See, Willie, if they elect me as a majority whip, I make the schedule of the Congress, and I'm not going to put in the schedule. So Tom told me, forget it, Willie. No chance.
A spokesperson for DeLay says it's no secret he opposes the legislation. And a lawyer for Tan says Tan was just exaggerating to impress a man he thought was a potential customer. But Congressman Miller says the tape provides a rare insight into the behind-the-scenes fight against reform on Saipan.
It makes me very angry, very angry. That's not what the Congress of the United States is supposed to be about.
So the bottom line is, despite the promises to investigate and the calls for reform, it seems little has changed on Saipan. And when the sun goes down on this American territory, another shift of foreign workers brought to this country under the same legal loophole reports for duty at another kind of thriving, grim business.
Makes you ashamed, makes you very ashamed.
The Justice Department tells 2020 that it has now begun a broad investigation into the allegations of sexual slavery on Saipan to assert once and for all that American law does apply on the island.